Lyrics of the Lost.
Hello, you, and welcome to a new year of exposing smooth pop lyrics and holding them to account. We're speaking truth to power ballads, dissecting disco, exposing the barnacles on yacht rock, calling out the sleazy in easy listening, and demanding that middle of the road just choose a freaking lane already. But let's make this year about you too. In the description of this podcast, there's a link for you to leave us a voicemail to play on the show. Tell us about a smooth radio song with lyrics that trouble you. Or perhaps you'd like to argue a point we've raised previously. Maybe you'd like to complain about the constant creaking from Dave's chair. We do enjoy your occasional emails, but we'd love to hear your voices on this show too. Isn't that right, Dave?
Absolutely. We'd like to communicate. We'd like to know people are listening.
Yes, and if you want to make your chair creak at home, join in the creaking fun. Although I haven't heard your chair creak so far, so that's
I'm keeping very, very still.
Excellent. So that's just part one of listener homework. Exciting. Part two.
Ooh.
And I've never mentioned this before, but it's also nice if you press the button to subscribe, add, follow, collect. Each player platform seems to have different names for it, but pressing that button will bring you good luck all year. Your player might even let you leave a nice review. Mostly it's Apple and Spotify that do that. But you know, there's no pressure. You do you. And we've got some listener feedback to discuss a bit later. But let's not waste any more time messing about here. Let's get straight to it. Episode 19 is this. Take on Me. Or is it Take Me On? They don't sound too sure. By Norwegian supergroup in 1984. Well, I think that's how you pronounce because unlike Wham, does not include the exclamation mark after it. So definitely not which is trademarked by Steve Coogan now, isn't it?
Yeah. Or maybe it's just...
Oh, that's nice.
They're just, a bit of clearing their throat.
Yes. Anyway, Take On Me, written by band members Magna Fiora Holman, Morten Harket on the vocals, and Paul Wachter. That's a great name.
The racist accents, I've missed those. Welcome back.
Oh, well. Wachter. I'd love to have that name. It sounds like cracking a bullwhip. Wachter. Anyway, as I was saying, Take On Me and Take Me On are sung sort of interchangeably in the chorus of this song. And I thought maybe that's because the Norwegians were unsure of the correct syntax in English. So maybe they had they just went for an each way bet and used both.
Yeah. They don't mean the same thing though. Like to take on something is not the same as taking something on. So a steam engine takes on water.
Right.
A person can take on a new identity.
Right.
But to take me on, they could be talking about fighting. Take me on in a mixed martial arts smackdown. Mm-hmm. Take me on as your apprentice bricklayer.
Yes.
See, two different things.
But then I think you were a little bit apples and oranges there, because you were talking about taking on things, but then this is definitely just taking on people. So, I get what you say though. Yeah, it's not often used in a romantic context.
No.
Take on me.
No.
Or take me on. And I know, I'm sorry, whenever a line like this in a song is rephrased and used again, I usually accuse Yoda from Star Wars of being involved in the writing. Yeah, I know. But this time, I think it's kind of irrefutable. See, Yoda was at peak popularity in 1984, but he had just been killed off in Return of the Jedi and replaced by much younger, cuter Ewoks. And this made him probably desperate to stay relevant. And you'll remember, too, that the previous Star Wars, The Empire Strikes Back, that movie was filmed in the snowy landscapes of Finns, Norway.
Yes.
So filling in for the ice planet Hoth. And it was here that Yoda, during production breaks, got involved in the local music scene, partying and sharing drugs with Aha, and convincing them, take on me you will, yes. Me on you will take.
Yes. Me you must take on.
And pretty much right there, chorus is born.
Take on me, you must. Sorry. I know you do the accents.
So if Yoda was ever involved in songwriting, it was definitely here in Norway in the early 80s. I'll say no more about it.
Okay.
Right. So that's about it. Now, it's not yet time for our misheard lyrics segment, but I've misheard something in this song for the last 40 years. Right at the peak falsetto line of that steadily rising chorus, which begins with take on me, backing vocals, take on me. Take me on, backing vocals, take on me. And then getting quite high now, I'll be gone. And then the falsetto, because we're at peak emotion now, and the line is actually in a day or two. I'll be gone in a day or two. And that reads pretty passive and casual for the peak lyric, doesn't it?
And what did you think it was?
Well, I always thought it was just a further short refrain of what he was saying earlier, basically saying, won't you take on me, but trailing off at just, won't you take? And I thought it was just, won't you take? But no, what a surprise.
Well, to be honest, I don't...
But yeah, I can hear it now, but you obviously heard it correctly the first time?
Well, no, I didn't know what any of the words were, to be honest, until I think it was, somebody told me what they were.
Right, yeah.
But, But no, once you hear it, you hear it.
That's true.
Yeah, I don't know if you were planning to talk about this later on, but there's another lyric in the song that I've seen transcribed two different ways, and I can't tell what it is.
Yeah.
In the first verse, today is another day to find you, and then he either says shying away or shine away. And I think that changes things quite a lot depending on what they are. And I've seen it transcribed two different ways. And as I say, I've listened to several recordings of the song, the actual released recordings and live videos and stuff, and I can't tell what he's singing. What did you have that as?
Well, the transcripts I read always seem to say shying away.
Yeah.
And that lyric appears, I think, 3 times in the song. So I think it's supposed to be that.
Yeah. We've got into this territory before. It's a little bit problematic where, let's say people confuse stalking with being romantic, right?
Sure.
So
courting someone really insistently.
So like either if he's saying she's shying away, then that means she's like trying to get away from him. And then the next line is, I'll be coming for your love, which sounds just a little threatening. Although to be fair, he does put okay at the end of the line. So he's asking if it's all right if he stalks her. So that's nice.
Yeah, that's quite cordial.
Yeah. But on the other hand, if it's shying away, it's like she's a thing of, she's an attractive thing. She's a thing of beauty that's drawing him in. And then it's probably quite okay for him to be coming for her love.
Yeah. Well, if she's purposely shining in his direction, you mean?
Well, okay, yes, but she could be a lighthouse warning him away. I'm not sure, but...
that warns away.
Yeah. Anyway.
Wow. I think the most likely theory for me with this song is that Morten Harket is singing about a particularly difficult job interview. Yeah. I mean, right at the start, we begin with, we're talking away. I don't know what I'm to say. I'll say it anyway. So here's Morten bluffing his way through a job interview. He doesn't know what to say, so he's babbling on and hoping the boss man will forget the actual question they originally asked. The question was probably quite technical, and Morton is out of his depth, and he's worried he's blowing the interview. Today's another day to find you shying away. Today's another day to find you shying away. So it's been a multi-stage interview, and Morton has made it through 1 or 2 interview days so far. But today he senses the boss is getting doubtful and shying away. And then we have, I'll be coming for your love, okay.
Yeah, that sounds a little needy for a job interview.
That's a bit unprofessional, for Morton as an applicant to express. But I think Morton knows he can do this job. Let's say it's supervisor of herring sortation down at the Oslo cannery. And, he doesn't know some of the technical buzzwords, but Morton knows herring, right? He's all about herring. It's in his blood. And he knows if he's given the job, his boss is going to love his work. And he's silently thinking, I'm coming for that love, okay? He's psyching himself up, you see. He's boosting his confidence in the face of this boss that seems like he's shying away. So now he's willing the boss in the chorus to take me on, take on me. And by the end of the chorus, he's bluffing to the boss that he's got other offers coming in all the time, and thus I'll be gone in a day or 2, and you'll have missed the best damn herring sorter in town. And Norway in the early 80s had rising unemployment and severe inflation, about 10%. So the stakes are pretty high here. And the pressure on Morton is high. And he doesn't think he's done well in the interview, you see. And he's thinking, they won't take me on. But of course, unless it's the final interview, employers will just thank you for coming in and say they'll let you know the decision in due course. So needless to say, Morton is at odds and ends and stumbling away while trying to learn that life will still be okay. And it's been a while now, and he's heard nothing, which is often the way it is. Busy employers don't bother telling unsuccessful applicants sometimes. Morton thinks he's lost it, but he needs to contact them again, just to know for sure, so he can move on. Even if that means he has to risk hearing their painful rejection directly over the phone. And there's still a slim chance that if he follows up, he will seem like a keen go-getter of a candidate, and that might put him over the line. So in this case, it's no better to be safe than sorry. You can protect your feelings by not hearing the rejection directly, but then you're still left without the job, and ultimately you know you've been rejected anyway. So you're no better off.
Yeah.
So he contacts them again, pleading, take on me, again and again in the chorus. But no, they do turn him down, and I think this gets awkward. I think he probably starts crying. So what do? They try to console him, saying, it's okay, that's just life. But Morton is immediately sulking. The things that you say, is it life, or is this just to play my worries away? And he goes on, you're all the things I've got to remember. You're all the things, which is to say, you're everything. Bad Norwegian English. This company, this job means everything to me, basically. And the boss is feeling very uncomfortable now. Morton notes this again, you're shying away. And now things go from awkward to embarrassing. Morton decides, I'll be coming for you anyway. On Monday morning, he's decided he'll just show up and start working. In his deranged thinking, maybe he can quickly show that he can do the job, and they'll just let him continue. Might as well if he's already there.
Just like George Costanza.
Yeah, yes, it's true. It was an episode of Seinfeld, and somewhat prophetically, in the last chorus, the falsetto line changes from "I'll be gone in a day or two" to just "I'll be gone in a day," and that would be because within hours on that first day, security are called and they drag him from the building, while he reprises the chorus again with pleas of take on me's and take me ons. Slowly fading out of earshot.
Oh.
Yeah. Very sad, just like George Costanza trying to work the Penske file, I think it was.
Yes, the Penske file. Yeah.
And pretending to know what he's doing.
I would not have employed Morton in this situation.
No, there's a few warning bells there.
Well, first, he does seem quite arrogant in the "I'll be gone in a day or two." But also, I think you could look at this line, the "say after me, it's no better to be safe than sorry." That to me is a health and safety nightmare. If you're working in a herring sorting and canning facility, you've really got to be on top of the workplace health and safety rules.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
The sharp edges on cans.
Yeah.
And also often the fins on herring.
Well, that's right. Yeah.
Pointy.
Yep. So
yikes.
I would not want him in my herring sorting facility.
No, fair enough.
Yeah.
Well, this is another reason why he blew it.
Yeah. And frankly, "I'll be coming for you anyway." That sounds a bit threatening, to be honest. I think he just feels entitled to this job. So, Morton, you're out of here.
I guess, whether it's about employment or romance, you don't want someone coming for you anyway.
No. Even if they do ask if it's okay.
And, I mean, I couldn't find any references, quotes from the actual artists themselves, but it's sort of cited as generally the song is being about a plea for love, which, I don't get that so much, except unless the song is about narcissism, as in, what's your take on me?
Ooh.
Someone just, fishing for compliments.
Yeah.
Because it does start with him talking away without him even knowing what he's saying. So it sounds like he's dominating a conversation, much as I am now, and dominating it with talk about himself before finally asking her a question, basically saying, "So that's enough about me. What about you? What do you think of me? What's your take on me?"
Yes.
Otherwise, no. There's no plea for love in this. Nobody says take on me or take me on in a romantic context.
No.
Except,
oh, hello.
Take me on, as I think you mentioned earlier, is used as an invitation to wrestle.
Yes.
As in, you think you can take me on? Come on then.
You and whose army?
You and whose army, that's right. And wrestling is a key stage of courtship and romance in Norway, especially with it being so cold. It's a form of foreplay. At the end of, like, a pleasant evening, one Norwegian will ask another if they want to come up for a nightcap, which is usually a hot jar of pickled herring. And next I can tell you that Norway is actually where we get the phrase, "let me slip into something more comfortable," as both partners will then disappear for a moment before slinking back into the room in full regulation unitards, ready to wrestle. And so they thrash about, trying to pin each other to the lounge room floor, and only when each Norwegian is satisfied with the other's wrestling prowess, like, okay, how is their Turkish grip, their nipple cripple, their rusty trumpet, various wrestling moves. And if satisfied, the wrestling gives way to cuddling, and they may then consummate their love in the traditional way with some more herring. Yeah.
But he still doesn't sound very reliable if he's going to be gone in a day or two. And who will she wrestle with then? Yeah,
maybe the wrestling theory doesn't hold.
Well,
again, it's this whole romance thing. It can't be about romance. It doesn't work.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I mean, I don't think he's a very good wrestler if he's stumbling away either. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying that he's a poor wrestler and he's got a commitment problem.
Hmm.
We've talked about this previously, well, not on the podcast, but we talked about it. There's a documentary about Aha. I think it's just called Aha, the movie. Aha, the movie.
Clever. Is there an exclamation point there?
No, there's not.
That's always...
It could be Aha, the movie! But no. At no time in that documentary did I actually see them interviewed together, I don't think. They all seem to be separate.
Yeah, I saw some other interviews, another sort of documentary just on the making of this song. And, they were never interviewed together in that either.
Yeah.
Although Morton did get back together in the same room as the girl from the video for a bit of a reunion and a chat. Apparently they were a couple for a couple of years.
Yeah, after that video, yeah. That was awkward but nice. Yeah. But
yeah, it was like they sort of said hello, and he just sort of kept walking to go and get a cup of tea without actually engaging.
Yeah, who knows how it ended? I mean, he might have just been gone in a day or two. So,
that's right. That's his modus operandi.
Exactly. Yeah, but it seemed like none of them were particularly thrilled by being in Aha all this time later. I mean, maybe it's just that they're dark Norwegians. Yes, they all just seemed a bit sad to me.
Oh well, that's sad.
Yeah, and maybe it's something to do with having one big hit single,
Yeah.
So,
although I feel like The Living Daylights was pretty big and was a favourite of mine.
Well,
the James Bond song.
Yeah. But they made like 9 or 10 albums, and they've released heaps of singles. And from what I could find out, most of them have gone to number one in one country or another, different parts of the world.
Okay.
So they definitely don't think of themselves as that kind of one hit wonder.
But now they're all unhappy and possibly should change their name to Boo Hoo.
Yeah, I think they've broken up twice. And then got back together. So yeah.
Yeah, money's always good to bring people back together.
Well, yeah. But anyway, here we are.
You haven't given a full theory on this, have you, yet?
No? Okay, well, let's start with this one. This one requires some knowledge of insect life cycles.
Oh, well,
yeah.
I'm sure our listeners are all over that.
Of course, yeah, well, they would be.
Yeah.
So, as I'm sure everybody knows, insects will start off their life as either a larva, like a caterpillar or a fly, or a nymph, which is like cicadas or grasshoppers, and they go through stages of growth and development and metamorphosis, and eventually they emerge as their final adult form. And these adult insects might only live for a few days or maybe a few weeks, and their sole purpose is to find a mate and reproduce.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so a good example of that is cicadas. So anyone in Australia or parts of North and South America, Africa and other places will be familiar with cicadas. And they can spend years underground before they emerge in huge numbers to mate and lay their eggs. So this song could be about an insect searching for a mate, right?
Right. During the 2-week period they're alive and
during
flying about.
In this case, I'll be gone in a day or two. See, so...
the short lifespan, yeah.
Yeah, they've emerged from the ground. And maybe that's a slight exaggeration. Adult cicadas, they might live for a couple of weeks, as they say, but maybe they'll just get eaten. So they could only have a couple of days, yeah.
That's true. There's a lot of birds hang out for the cicada season, yeah.
Exactly, yeah. Or my dogs, which are very good at catching them.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
They're so crunchy.
Crunchy on the outside, soft in the middle. So, okay, we're talking away. I don't know what to say. I'm going to say it anyway. So, one of the defining characteristics of all insects is that they're not great conversationalists. I don't think you could argue with that.
Well, yeah, they're a bit repetitive. They go,
Yeah. But it could just be referring to the call of the cicada, as you say. So the male cicada doesn't really know what he's trying to communicate or why, but he sings all day anyway. So we've mentioned he'll be gone in a day or two. It's no better to be safe than sorry. as I mentioned before, an insect's life can be very dangerous.
Yeah.
They are at the bottom of the food chain. So in order to find a mate, they have to live a little bit dangerously.
Absolutely.
Make their calls, fly around. So it's no better to be safe than sorry, because if they're safe, they'll never find a mate.
Yikes.
Yep.
Damned if you do, damned if you don't. Or, well, slight chance everything will go quite nicely for a very short while. But then, it's over anyway.
Yeah, so they're stumbling away, slowly learning that life is okay. This is when they've just emerged from the ground.
It's okay, but it's short.
Okay, yes, well, they've got to learn how to fly. They've got to learn how to be in trees and pee on the people below. It's all of that stuff that cicadas love to do. But when they first emerge, they're very slow and they're very vulnerable. They've got to wait for their shells to dry out. They've got to wait for their wings to unfurl. And then they're living their brief but wonderful cicada life. But, see, this is where the shying away versus shining away comes into it.
Right.
So shying away isn't really that accurate for something like a cicada, because as far as I know, the males just sit there and call out and wait for the females to come to them.
Yeah. There's no elaborate courtship, really.
No. But if it's shining away, maybe he's talking about fireflies.
Oh.
The fireflies are very sort of dull-looking brown beetles, but at night time when they come out, you're just surrounded by flashing green lights.
Oh.
Yeah, so maybe he's singing about...
Part of a courtship thing, is it, to attract a mate?
Yeah, absolutely. So maybe that's what he's singing about. Fireflies shining away.
Okay.
I hope that's what it's about, because I really like fireflies.
And there haven't been enough songs about fireflies, so...
No, that's right.
Yeah. I can see that. They'll be gone in a day or two, and then again, the final chorus is "I'll be gone in a day." So
Yeah, because he's been eaten by my dog. Yeah,
sad, tragic.
Yeah, tragic, but uplifting and beautiful.
Yeah, more poignant than just losing a job, maybe.
Yeah. Do you want to hear another tragic one?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Okay. So it could be a tragic cautionary tale of a naive and vain young man who falls in love with a shape-shifting alien.
A shape-shifting alien?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
So he meets a woman, she's strange and exciting, and then subsequently finds out that she's an alien. It's very exciting for him.
Being an alien's exciting for him, finding out that it's an alien. Okay.
Yes. Yes.
Sexually exciting? Or?
Probably, yes.
Okay.
But because it's that exciting and he's kind of awkward and shy, he doesn't know what to say to her. I mean, I think we can identify with that. If you met an alien shapeshifter that you'd been dating, I'm pretty sure you wouldn't know what to say.
But he's not shying away, is he?
No, she is shying away because she's trying to live secretly on Earth amongst the humans.
Right.
So when she realizes that the young man has discovered her true identity, she's trying to get away from him.
Okay.
So she's shying away and he's coming for her love, okay?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now, he's been a kind of lonely, awkward young man. He's never been in love before. Finally, he meets this alien and has an alien girlfriend, and life seems better. So he's slowly learning that life is okay.
Oh, yes.
But he knows that dating an alien could be dangerous. She hasn't revealed her true intentions to him.
Mm-hmm.
And he has no idea why she's trying to live as a human on Earth. But the excitement of the affair overcomes all these doubts. So he feels that it's no better to be safe than sorry, because this is such an exciting affair.
What an opportunity.
Yes.
Yes.
Now, we come to the chorus. So Seinfeld came up before. There's another episode of Seinfeld, which you may remember, where Jerry falls in love with a woman, and I think she was played by Janine Garofalo.
Oh, he's very much like himself.
Yep, she's very much the same as him and proposes to her. And I think they end up breaking up because they're so similar that they can't stand each other.
That's right, yes. What seems like an attractive idea, meeting your own self and being full of self-love, as we all are to a degree.
Indeed.
But then we're also full of self-loathing. So.
Well, there you go. Well, this situation is worse, and this is where the cautionary tale comes in. So the young man's vanity gets the better of him, and he begs the alien woman to assume his form. to take on him.
Oh.
So like Jerry Seinfeld, he's falling in love with himself.
Right.
Now.
Right. But in female form, or maybe he could be gay and is quite happy for her to take a male form.
It doesn't specify. I think she's just taken on his form. So he's basically falling in love with himself.
Okay.
But now what he doesn't realize is that not only is this alien able to change her appearance so that she resembles him, she's also able to influence his thoughts and memories.
Ooh.
Oh, the things that you say, is it just life or just to play my worries away? You're all the things I've got to remember. Yeah, see? So he's confused.
So much implanting of thoughts and
exactly. Yes, he believes he loves this alien, and his extreme vanity and his narcissism make the whole situation extremely attractive to him. And he doesn't even remember what his life was like before he met this alien. But it's not clear, does he really feel this? Or is he being manipulated by her alien mind powers?
Oh, of course.
Yes.
Yeah.
At the end of the chorus, her true intentions are revealed, and he sings, "I'll be gone in a day or two," because he realizes that the shape-shifting aliens are slowly, secretly replacing the real humans.
Oh, of course. It's that movie.
It's that movie and all those other ones.
But that particular movie, with Donald Sutherland and Jeff Goldblum, and then it was remade with Nicole Kidman, and the humans that have had their place taken are consumed in these little plant-like pods.
Oh yes, that one. Yes, is that Invasion of the Body Snatchers?
Invasion of the Body Snatchers. That's it.
There we go.
Yes.
Well, this is it.
Yes.
So, not only has she taken on his appearance, she will, in a couple of days, physically consume his body.
And take his place forever.
He will be gone in a day or two, replaced by an alien doppelganger.
Oh my gosh.
Yep.
Yeah, that's so clear now.
Yep.
Clear as day.
Yep.
Blimey. And yeah, I think those movies were quite recent in 1984 when this was made. I think Invasion of the Body Snatchers was originally made in the 70s. There may even be an earlier version in black and white.
Pretty sure there is, yeah.
There was a remake. Well, maybe it was in the 90s. Anyway, it was still big.
Yeah.
And The Thing, of course.
Yeah.
John Carpenter's The Thing. That was another thing along those lines, and
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That was somewhere in the 80s.
Yeah. I mean, I think those themes have been well explored in cinema, but not as much as you'd expect in the genre of 80s synth pop. So,
But that's the sort of groundbreaking band that they were.
Yeah.
I mean, unless they were themselves shapeshifters, the band members of a-ha, because they came from Norway. Nobody knows, who they really are. They've just appeared and said they're from Norway, and, we all accept that. They appeared in London trying to get a job, trying to get signed up by a studio, and possibly a bit of due diligence should have been done to check that they're not shape-shifting aliens.
Well, they may not have always been shape-shifting aliens. Maybe initially they was the real members of a-ha, but then they've subsequently been taken over by shape-shifting aliens. And that might explain why they seem so unhappy. Maybe they'd come to invade the Earth, and now they're trapped in an 80s synth-pop band.
Right. And there's too much attention on them, and they can't do any further shape-shifting without arousing suspicion. Sure.
Yeah.
And very hard to start consuming other people, because you might have to go into some sort of metamorphic state when that happens, and it's time consuming. You can't be interrupted.
Yeah,
it would explain why Morton Harkett also always looks so wet, especially in the video clip. Very very wet man.
I'd never noticed his wetness.
Yeah. Whenever he's the non-drawing version of Morton Harkett, he's shiny and wet.
Yes.
Especially at the end when he's bashing himself against walls.
He's very wet by the end of it. Yes, maybe that's the actual lyric. Maybe it's not shying away. Maybe it's shiny and wet. Shiny and wet.
Yeah. Well, great theory.
Thanks.
Okay, well, I've got a bit of a downer one.
Oh, well.
I think one possible interpretation of this song is that it could be taking the form of a prayer to our sweet Lord, baby Jesus. We know Morton sings that he'll be gone in a day or two, so maybe he may in fact be dying and trying to reach out to our holy Saviour. Mm-hmm. And if he doesn't succeed in a day or two, he fears he'll be gone forever to the fiery pits of hell. And the name Morton contains the word element mort, which in Latin, Italian, and Spanish means death. So that's another clue. But anyway, Morton is a sinner, like all of us, but he's maybe never lived religiously, never prayed before. So at the start of the song, he's talking away. I don't know what I'm to say. I'll say it anyway. And I think that's quite normal for someone who hasn't prayed before. He feels self-conscious,
sure.
Yeah, and start blabbering on to a being who's apparently seemingly not there. But today's another day to find you. Of course, he's seeking the Almighty and he's not sure if he feels the Lord's presence or not. But as someone close to death, he has feverish moments and times under heavy medication. So sometimes he does feel phantom sensations, memories, relief, ecstasy, and dreams that might seem like God's presence. But sometimes nothing, as if our Heavenly Father is shying away. But Morton's committed to spending his last days coming for that love anyway. So he repents, take on me, as in take on the burden of my sins, O Lord, and forgive them. Take me on into heaven to sit forever in thine glorious beneficence. But the struggle goes on. He's feeling at odds and ends and stumbling away, not sure if he's coming closer to God. And it's here that the devil starts whispering in his ear. Lucifer, that lord of lies, reminding him of his past atheistic views. He had slowly learnt that life is okay, life down here, the secular life. And it's no better to be safe in heaven than sorry down here, because we all just turn to dust, and reaching for God on your deathbed is just to play your worries away. Your worries or fears of death when it's so close. That's only natural. But Morton's last best hope is that God is real and is all the things I've got to remember now. And so the song and his life fades away with his mantra-like choruses continuing the pleas to take me on my sins, forgive them, and take me into heaven forever.
But we never know how it turns out.
Well, no. We never know. None of us ever know until we come to that moment of dying. I mean, some of us have, very strong faith and think we know, but do any of us really truly know until that moment?
No. Well, it's very poignant. Screaming into the abyss. Take on me. Take me on.
It's rough. It's a rough old world.
It is a rough old world.
Yeah. These Norwegians are, they're very into sort of darkness.
Yeah, true.
Their main music genre seems to be death metal, from what I've seen.
Yes.
Dark themes like this, it's...
Well, I've got another dark one.
Yes? Depress me.
Well, I don't know. It's not let's just see how it plays out.
Or make me cry then.
Or maybe it'll make you cry.
Make me feel. Just make me feel, Dave.
All right, I'll make you feel something. This one really came about with me thinking about the line about being odds and ends. Right? So not being at odds and ends. He's literally odds and ends.
Right.
Now, a famous character from literature and cinema who is literally odds and ends.
Frankenstein.
Yeah, there we go. Frankenstein's monster. Yep. So recently reanimated. The creature is understandably a little tongue-tied. Doesn't know what to say, but he's blabbering away, stumbling away. He's got to learn to walk again because he's walking with somebody else's legs.
Sure.
And he's slowly learning that life is okay. So he although he's feared everywhere he goes, he befriends a blind man who can't see him and is therefore not afraid of his appearance.
There's a young girl that gives him an apple.
There we go.
In
yes.
one of the movies.
Yes,
Yeah.
she's teaching him that life is okay. But he's abandoned by his creator. And I think at some point he flees from Frankenstein's laboratory. But because of the fact that he's feared everywhere and chased, he's trying to return. He's trying to find his creator. So today's another day to find you. And of course, Frankenstein is trying to get away from him, shying away. But the monster is coming for his love. It's like, almost like he's the love of a father. He wants to be back.
Sure.
In the bosom of his creator.
Yeah.
Actually, he also wants Frankenstein to build him a female companion. So he's coming for love in that sense as well.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
But that makes sense. I mean, yes, the only connection he's got in the world, is his creator, really. And
there you go. Yeah.
It's similar for all of us. If we were adopted, we want to seek out our birth parents.
Exactly. Yeah.
Or at least a lot of people do. And so, that must be a very strong theme. Yes.
And later on in the song, he asks, "Is it life?" I think that's a very deep philosophical question.
Oh, wow.
Is it really life?
That is.
Or is it, he's brought back from the dead. Is this really a life, or is it just to play his worries away?
It's very poignant indeed.
Yeah.
Yes.
And of course, he'll be gone in a day or two. The creature knows that his time on Earth is limited. He's hated wherever he goes. He has himself committed some terrible crimes. He's killed people. He knows he can't stay. And in the end, he goes off. I think he goes off on an ice floe to die.
Oh, yeah. Was that how all of those Frankenstein movies ended, or was it just the Kenneth Branagh one?
That's how the source novel ends. I think he goes off. He realizes that he's committed so many terrible crimes that he can't continue to live amongst people, and then he disappears.
Oh, very sad.
Yeah.
Yeah, that could be right too.
Yeah.
Gosh, there are just so many choices, such flexibility in this song, so many interpretations.
Well, exactly.
Just not the romance thing. There's definitely not romance.
There's nothing romantic about this at all.
And there's the whole Norwegian English sort of translation issues that make all things possible to a degree.
Exactly, and you don't want to. I don't want to be too critical of a group of Norwegians writing in English.
Yeah, no, they've done well.
Yeah,
well done, boys.
Yeah, none of the songs that I've written in Norwegian have ever turned out to be worldwide smash hits, so they've done well.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've got some come across some other theories on the internet, which we can examine if you'd like.
Yes.
Okay. Oh, I think we've mentioned this one a little bit already. But username Bonsai. He writes, is it about a stalker, as evidenced by the lines, "You're shying away and I'll be coming for you anyway"? Yes, it seems most pop song lyrics sound a bit non-consensual and a bit rapey, as we've seen.
There are so many smooth songs that are nothing but anything but smooth.
But the line, "I'll be coming for you anyway," might be meant in the sense of, "I'll be ejaculating to you anyway." And, you really don't need consent to do that. In fact, I'd argue it's probably best for everybody if you don't have consent, to think about someone when you're masturbating. I think the act of asking someone for consent, is it okay if I think about you when I masturbate? I think that in itself would be sexual harassment.
And that's exactly what he does. "I'll be coming for your love." Okay.
Yeah,
but it's
or "I'll be coming for you anyway."
Oh, yeah, that's it. Yeah.
It's the last rendition of that line.
See, he seems to feel like he's reaching orgasm not to her, but for her, like he's actually doing her a favour.
Oh, interesting, yes.
Unless, well...
I'm dedicating this one to you. Yeah.
What if he's a sperm donor?
Oh, okay. But... If you're donating sperm to someone who didn't want it or ask for it, I don't think that's...
Yeah, I guess
that's not acceptable.
No, people could take offence if you just leave a little vial of sperm on their front door step.
Yes.
I made this for you.
Oh, dear. Yeah. Another user HBK for Life. He writes, some have criticized the song for having something to do with Kama Sutra, which is a load of bollocks, is what he said.
Oh.
And I can't find any mention of this connection to the Kama Sutra anywhere. And I'm also a little bit unsure as to whether he's saying the connection is bollocks or that the Kama Sutra is bollocks.
He's tried it all and it's rubbish.
I tried that Kama Sutra, it's bollocks. I don't know where he got that from. I've asked Google several times. Maybe I have to ask Jeeves or something to get that result.
Jeeves has access to the dark web. You need to...
Yes, it's Jeeves. He's got a dark side.
Yeah.
Yes. Another user, Yarly Pip, writes, I think he's only in town for a couple of days and hit on a girl and wants to have sex with her. He's trying to convince her to do it. I think this is right because in the video, he is an undeveloped drawing representing an undeveloped relationship. That's interesting. He's not asking for anything more than taking him on, having sex with him before he's gone from her life in a day or two. Yeah, that's an interesting theory. Actually, in the video, she becomes a cartoon briefly too, so maybe that means she went a little bit superficial herself and put out a bit of casual sex.
Yes.
But then he fell in love. She got her hooks into him and was then able to drag him into the real world.
And he ends up, bashing himself against the wall and getting all sweaty. Yes, you're right.
Yeah, and he was doing that in an effort to sort of shake away the cartoon dimension he's coming out of. And yeah, that's the bit that was clearly ripped off from the ending of Altered States, the 1980 movie with William Hurt, who does the same thing to shock himself out from devolving into a pulsating blob of flesh. Yeah, look it up. I think the ending is on YouTube. You've seen it?
I've seen it a long time ago, but I've seen it. Is that something that's been discussed before, or are you just bringing that up now?
Well, actually, no, one of the people online mentioned it as well. But I've always thought of that as soon as I saw the video clip. I thought that's an identical shot down an apartment hallway with someone bashing themselves against wall to wall and little cut frames of a different version of them flickering through and then away.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot more than just a coincidence, I'd say. I don't want to throw around accusations, but I just did.
Yeah, you've been forced to.
A user from Norway, Wicked6, writes, this is interesting. The way to say touch me in Norwegian is ta pa meg.
Ooh.
But when those three words are translated individually into English, without the context of the other words, you get take on me.
Good heavens.
Wicked6 says Norwegians have bemoaned this vastly undernoticed language error for years. So it seems Morton and the boys wanted to write about a guy trying to be with a girl to touch each other up, but they stuffed up the translation. And I've checked this on Google Translate, and it's true. You can type touch me or take me on, either one, and they will both come out in Norwegian the same as ta pa meg. Ta on its own can also mean toe. So there's a small chance they wanted to write toe on me, maybe for foot fetishists like Quentin Tarantino. But that's a pretty small market, I think.
Oh, so like put your toe on me. Ooh.
Yes, touch me with your toe.
Yeah. I often wondered whether there was a Norwegian language version of this song. I know they released 3 separate English language versions, but I never found a Norwegian version, but maybe there was.
Yeah. Which brings us to misheard lyrics in this song, as reported at kissthisguy.com and amiright.com.
All right.
Yeah. First we have user Rachel Renee with slowly learning that life is okay, which she thought was slowly burning the fife is okay. And she explains, I thought this must be a Norwegian saying that didn't translate well. I imagine there was a story behind this that had something to do with an enchanted flute. Slowly burning the fife is okay. Interesting.
Burning the fife at both ends.
Well, yes.
Makes it hard to play.
burn out. Yes. The fife that burns twice as bright burns half as long.
Shining away.
Yeah. Well done, Rachel. Next we have user Cyan. I hope you're not feeling too blue about this one, Cyan. She's got the line, "I'll be gone in a day or two," which, as you know, I misheard. And she misheard it as, "I'll be gone, but enter your dreams." And that sounds nothing like it, but that just goes to show you how difficult to make out that falsetto voice is.
Yeah.
Another one that's an interesting take on that, someone also heard it as, "I'll become your deity." I'll become your deity. And that's blasphemy.
Oh, yeah.
But kind of works.
It scans okay. Sure.
I'll be gone, your deity in a day or two.
Yeah.
Yeah. "I'll be coming for your love, okay," was heard by someone as, "I'll be coming for your Lego cake." Don't know about that one. But yes, Norway is quite close to Denmark. That's where Lego comes from. So,
yeah,
Lego references wouldn't be out of place necessarily.
It's odd to go for a Lego cake, though.
Sorry, you don't often make Lego cakes?
No, it's an odd thing to choose for a song.
That's true. And Lego don't tend to make kits about, cake-shaped models in Lego. As far as I know. I could be wrong.
No, that is true, yeah.
It's an interesting way to go.
Yeah. Yeah, I think there's a little chef minifigure somewhere, so yeah.
Could be.
You could be baking a cake.
Someone misheard, "Is it life or just to play my worries away?" as, "Is it life or just a play? My worries can wait." And I think that's quite a nice line. Is it life or just a play? I think that's quite deep.
Yeah. Is this the real life? Is this just fantasy? I've often heard this song described as the Norwegian Bohemian Rhapsody.
Is that true? No.
No.
Right. Okay. I can look at some. We can look at some notable achievements now, if you'd like.
Yes, by all means. Sorry, were you expecting me to sing the theme song?
Yes, notable achievements. Come on.
Notable achievements.
Zing. Okay. So yes, it's got a very good music video with all the sketchy animations. Much better than their earlier one. There's the earlier one you can still see on YouTube, which just has a blue background and some lady acrobats doing like somersaults and things.
Yeah.
And you can also hear the earlier versions of the song without any video clip, which was at one point called Lesson 1 and featured Morton doing a sort of rooster crow in the middle of the song for some reason.
I'm uncertain, I'm me. Today is another day to find you.
Oh, wow, I haven't heard all of that. It's interesting.
Oh yeah, I'll send you the link.
Please.
And or actually, I'll just play the sample right here.
Yeah.
And also some different and imaginative lyrics like,
I'm happy as can be. Hip, hip, hooray.
"Hip, hip, hooray." Very inspiring.
Wow.
Great stuff. Actually, the video clip, great as it is, it bears no relation to the song lyrics in any theory that we've developed. Unless Morton is in a pattern of behavior where he invites all of his potential lovers to take me on in a motorcycle race.
Yeah.
See, the video begins with Morton winning one motorbike race, and then he pulls this girl into the cartoon world to challenge her to take me on, perhaps in another race. But then a couple of his ex-lovers show up in their bike helmets and brandishing a pipe wrench, and they're angry that Morton has jilted each of them so quickly. And and motorcycle racing is maybe a metaphor for sex. To win, you have to really lean into the curves, getting faster and faster in each lap, until you're climaxing up on stage with a frothy explosion of champagne that gets everywhere. You blot it up with tissues, and then you hit the showers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Could be. I've often wondered why the girl in the video was spending her time in a cafe reading a crudely drawn comic about motorcycles.
Yeah, well, it's, every nerdy guy's fantasy is a nerdy girl who likes comics.
I guess so.
Maybe.
Yeah.
In the TV cartoon Family Guy, they do a lovely parody of the video clip with the son Stewie getting pulled into that sketchbook world while taking a carton of milk out of a grocery store refrigerator. And I do often think when you look in those refrigerators and you see people back there behind the rows of milk and they're shuffling around in thick jackets, it does kind of seem like the gateway to another dimension.
Yes,
like
yes.
the back of the wardrobe in Narnia, that sort of thing. There's an 11-year-old little boy on YouTube called Hayden who screeches a terrible version of this song, and he has rewritten the lyrics to be about the main passion in his life, mining diamonds in Minecraft, the video game.
Oh, really?
So all the lyrics to this song are about Minecraft. But his video has 45 million views because it really sounds like he destroyed his voice doing it and perhaps triggered early onset puberty. But yeah, if you want to find it on YouTube, be careful to turn the sound down close to nothing or it could ruin your speakers.
Okay. Does he hit the high note?
Oh, God, no.
Oh, okay.
It's just an awful screech. And this poor boy is 18 this year, I think now. And he creates original indie music now, often about how toxic his so-called fans were. Yeah, kids can be so cruel. Yeah, I think they were laughing at more than laughing with.
Most likely, yeah.
Yeah. Anything else to take on here, Dave, with Aha?
Not really. There's a couple of good cover versions of the song.
Oh, yes.
Weezer have reared their heads again.
Oh, yes. I saw that with a video clip with the kids from Stranger Things.
Yeah, and they also do some of the pencil animation as well. There's also
it's a fairly faithful cover, was it?
Yeah, pretty much. It's kind of like their version of Toto's Africa. It's pretty much straightforward, except there's no involvement of Weird Al in this one. I wasn't able to find any Weird Al covers of this song.
No, that's another good point. Yes. Yeah. Weird Al's really been letting us down lately.
Yeah, but Weezer have been picking up the slack, so good on you. There's another cover by a band called Real Big Fish, which is a ska punk version, very up-tempo with brass.
Yes, I enjoyed that. That was interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. A little bit like Madness.
Very similar. And also a actually quite nice version, acoustic version by Aha themselves. Which is,
an unplugged type thing, yeah.
Yeah, which is kind of very sad version, I thought. Very kind of poignant, moving version. Probably fits more with our...
with their new misery, new sort of sadness.
Yeah.
Well, I think we've been going for a day or two now.
Yeah.
So just time for some listener comments. A few episodes back, we looked into Africa by Toto, a user by the name Sea Souls over on Twitter. He describes himself on his Twitter bio as, I am an investor, also a part-time musician and synth aficionado. I only listen to cool music. But anyway, he's deeply invested in the coolness of Toto's Africa. Sea Souls writes about our podcast, I listened to about half and it annoyed the shit out of me. Why are you micro-analyzing geographic references from this song? Toto never claimed to have written a song to honour the continent, nor did they even ask for it to be respected as such. Very strong words. Why do we microanalyze, Dave?
What else would we do? It's what we're here for.
I don't know. It is what we're here for. I think we're just trying to to raise the bar for lyrics in pop songs, really, aren't we?
Yes.
If you're going to write lyrics and publish them in a song, just get some basic facts right.
Yeah.
Just minimum due diligence.
Well, exactly. And I think in that podcast we did question whether the facts were correct. Maybe they were correct. Maybe they weren't correct.
Yeah, I think you were more on the defence side.
Yeah, exactly. So
perhaps, you would have gotten along quite well with Seasols on that,
Yeah.
but maybe he didn't listen to enough of it.
yeah, I would argue that we didn't microanalyze enough. We were unable to reach a conclusion. More research required.
We might have to circle back to it at some point.
Yeah.
But I remember that some of the song's references were out, or did appear to be out, by several hundred miles. So it's hardly micro-analysing. It's very much macro.
Yes, that's
with
true.
mistakes that
Yes,
large, I think.
Yes. Yeah. And on the point about them, what did they say about not wanting to honour the continent of Africa? Was it something that he...
Yes,
Yeah,
he did
well,
say that.
They did name it after the continent, so...
They did name it after that. That's
Yes,
true.
yeah.
It's a bit honorific, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, I hope Seasols gets the hang of what we're doing here and the importance of our work.
Yeah.
But I'm afraid we may have lost him.
Yeah. But thank you for taking the time to listen to about half of the episode.
Yeah. Thanks, Seasols.
Yeah. And taking the time to write a tweet about it.
Sure. And a second tweet too. In a second message, he wasn't finished. And I'm not sure how this is exactly relevant, except that Seasols has sort of put us in a corner with CBS News America. He posted a link to a story about CBS broadcasting a memorial news item from Africa about Nelson Mandela's death, under which they played Toto's Africa. Like that's culturally appropriate music to use.
He's from Africa. Come on.
Yikes. I think we can agree that's embarrassing. And in the article, Toto are quoted as saying, "We didn't approve that use and we do not approve that use." But Seasols, as troubling as that is, I don't think you can say an analysis of Toto's song is somehow just as inappropriate as that. But yeah, I mean, Seasols is a staunch defender of Toto, and I admire his passion. Good man.
Look, absolutely. And I think our microanalyzing is respectful.
Yeah, I mean, what does Seasols have to say to, a young child who's gone all the way to the Serengeti in the hopes of seeing Kilimanjaro? And what do you say to the big eyes on that small boy, wet eyes, starting to cry, and saying, why can't I see Kilimanjaro like Toto said?
Yeah.
I mean, what do you say to that little boy? That's why we're here. That's why
right.
we're here. We're here for that little boy to say, don't go expecting to see Kilimanjaro, because you won't. So who knows how many failed trips to spot Kilimanjaro that we've prevented.
We are all that little boy.
Oh, no. Deep down, at different points in our lives, yes, we are all that disillusioned little boy that's been lied to by Toto.
I stand with that little boy.
I stand with that little boy, yes. Where's Greta Thunberg on this too? Why isn't she going, Toto, how dare you?
Yeah.
Any sponsors to thank this week, Dave?
Yes, Bamboo Socks.
Bamboo stock?
Bamboo Socks.
Oh, socks.
Yes.
Oh, I think I got a pair of those for Christmas.
Ah.
I haven't tried them yet. Are they good?
Once you go bamboo, you won't go back, I tell you.
I've heard that reference in so many contexts.
Well, it's never been more true.
The most important thing for me in a sock is coolness. I mean, not looking cool, but feeling cool and not overheated in my little feets.
They're not too bad. They're very soft. That is what I like. They're soft.
Soft.
The downside is they take a long time to dry.
Oh, wonder what that is. Very high thread count.
Possibly, yeah, but they're very soft. So your feet will thank you.
Okay. Well, I'd just like to thank the auto manufacturers again. I'm sure I've brought them up previously, but this time for not making car alarms anymore, because car alarms used to be a frequent and annoying occurrence at nights. But mostly, as I've learnt, due to the advent of engine immobilizers, you rarely hear car alarms anymore, except in that last episode of this podcast when one kept going off. But that's a pretty rare occurrence, so yay.
Yeah, and you were very professional, and you rose above it, mostly.
I rose above it. I edited it out as much as I could. But yeah. And I'd also like to thank our kitchen tap here this week for somehow healing itself and stopping all the loud, leaky dripping it was doing. Magically, it just healed itself and stopped. So fantastic. Thanks for that.
Faucet, heal thyself.
Lyrics of the Lost.